One cake. One moment of humiliation. Jasmine's decision to throw away her marriage was as sweet and satisfying as the rich chocolate cake that splattered across her dress. What happens when a woman finally stops shrinking for someone else? The unexpected turn, the cake, and the bill. Growing up in a strict household, Jasmine had always been an independent woman. She had built her career from the ground up and became a successful business consultant, but she loved her home and was taught to value hard work, dignity, and self-respect. Her husband Ryan, on the other hand, had always battled with his ego, particularly when it came to money after 3 years of marriage. Things have been tense lately, and they recently lost. Jasmine promised him that she would cover their expenses, but every time she paid for their outings, his pride was hurt. Love for her wasn't about who made more money, it was about support, respect, and partnership. On their third wedding anniversary, a memorable evening. Knowing how much Ryan enjoyed their steak and fine wine, Jasmine carefully chose the location for their elegant dinner at a posh restaurant in the city. She wanted the evening to be ideal to serve as a reminder to him that no matter what, they were in this together. As they sat down, Ryan appeared tense, fidgeting with his. When the check finally arrived, Jasmine instinctively reached for it, ready to cover the bill as she had done numerous times before. But Ryan continued to check the bill folder at the corner of the table as the evening went on, his mood shifting. At that point, Ryan had an outburst, saying, "You're really gonna do this again?" He said, his voice low but laced with anger. Jasmine looked up confused. "Do what? Pay the damn bill in front of everyone like I can't take care of my own wife?" Jasmine sighed. She didn't want to have this conversation here, Ryan. We talked about this. It's not a big deal. It is to me. He slammed his fist on the table, causing heads to turn. "You emasculate me every time you do this, like I'm broke loser living off you." Jasmine tried to remain calm. "Ryan, that's not what this is. You're my husband. What's mine is yours." But Ryan wasn't listening. His face, twisted with frustration, and then in one shocking motion, he grabbed the small anniversary cake the waiter had just placed on their table and hurled it at her. Gasps erupted around the restaurant. The rich chocolate cake smeared across Jasmine's beautiful dress, dripping down her face. The entire room fell silent. Jasmine sat frozen for a moment, the humiliation sinking in. She felt the sting not just from the cake, but from the deeper pain of betrayal, and then she did something no one expected. Her next move. Calmly, Jasmine picked up her napkin, wiped her face, and stood up. She turned to the waiter and said, "Could you please bring me another piece of cake, one for myself and one for my lawyer?" The words hit Ryan like a truck. His face paid Jasmine weight, but she was already pulling out her phone, dialing a number. The entire restaurant erupted into murmurs and whispers. A woman in a nearby booth, an older lady who had been watching everything unfold, clapped slowly, one by one. More people joined in until the entire restaurant was applauding. Jasmine turned to Ryan. Her voice steady. "Respect isn't optional, Ryan, and neither is dignity. I won't stay married to a man who humiliates me over his insecurities." Ryan stammered, his confidence crumbling. I was just upset. I didn't mean." Jasmine cut him off. "You did mean it, and that's the problem." She turned to the waiter. "Could you charge the bill to my card?" "No need, ma'am," the waiter said with a small smile. "Someone else already covered it." Jasmine blinked. "Who?" "A man from across the restaurant." A stranger raised his glass to "The strong women who know their worth," he said. Jasmine smiled, nodded in gratitude, and walked out of the restaurant, leaving Ryan speechless, alone, and drowning in the mess he had made that night. Jasmine didn't just leave the restaurant, she left behind a marriage that had long stopped serving her, and for the first time in a long while, she felt free. The aftermath. Jasmine walked out of the restaurant with her head held high, but the weight of what had just happened settled in as she got into her car. She took a deep breath, letting the cool air from the AC dry the remnants of frosting on her skin. She knew this wasn't just about a dinner bill, it was about something much deeper: respect, dignity, and self-worth. Her phone buzzed. "Ryan, baby, please come home, we need to talk." "Ryan, I was upset. You embarrassed me first, I just reacted." "Ryan, you're really going to throw everything away over one mistake?" Jasmine stared at the messages, her heart ached, but her mind was clear. This wasn't a one-time thing. His insecurities had been eating away at their relationship for months, if not years, and tonight was just the final push she needed. She called her best friend Monica. "I need a place to crash tonight. You already know my couch is yours," Monica said immediately. "Want me to bring ice cream or tequila?" Both the divorce papers the next morning, Jasmine wasted no time. She met with her lawyer, a sharp woman named Camille, who didn't believe in sugarcoating anything based on what you've told me. "This isn't the first time Ryan's made you feel small, is it?" Camille asked. Flipping through some papers, Jasmine sighed. "No, he never hit me, never cursed at me. But he knew how to break me down in other ways. Every time I paid for something, he made me feel guilty. When I got promoted, he accused me of thinking I was better than him. He resented my success, even when I offered to share it." Camille nodded. "I've seen this before. Some men can't handle a strong woman, and when they realize they can't control her, they lash out in other ways." She slid a document across the table. "We can file this today." Jasmine hesitated for only a moment before signing her name at the bottom. It was done. Ryan's reaction when Ryan received the divorce papers. A few days later, he showed up at Monica's house, pounding on the door. Jasmine opened the door and said, "We need to talk, Monica. You never want to back down," but used her body to block the entrance. "She is not required to take any action." Ryan: "Don't get involved with this, Monica. This is between my wife and me." Ex-wife, Monica corrected. Ryan made a hand. His hair showed signs of frustration. His expression as Jasmine eventually stepped. She appeared calm, "And you don't have to." Ryan said, "I love you, Jasmine. So do this." Sighed, "Love isn't enough." Ryan: "Respect matters too." He scoffed over one argument. She crossed her arms. "One argument? You humiliated me in front of an entire restaurant. You threw a cake at me. I lost my temper. You know, I've been stressed since losing my job, and I was nothing but supportive," Jasmine said. "But instead of seeing me as a partner, you saw me as a threat." Ryan opened his mouth to argue, but she held up a hand. "I deserve someone who lifts me up, not tears me down. Someone who celebrates my success, not resents it. I gave you everything, Ryan, and you threw it in my face." Literally, Ryan's face fell. He knew she was right. For the first time, Jasmine saw something new in his eyes. Not anger, not pride, but regret. But it was too late. "Goodbye, Ryan." And with that, she closed the door, shutting out the past and stepping into a future where she no longer had to shrink herself for anyone. Jasmine laughed, feeling lighter than she had in years. As she took a bite, she realized something. The best revenge wasn't getting even, it was getting better. A new beginning. As Jasmine savored the rich chocolate cake, laughter surrounded her. She was sitting with a group of friends, people who truly supported her, who cheered for her success instead of resenting it. She felt lighter, freer, and for the first time in years, truly happy. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen. "Ryan, I heard you're doing well. I'm sorry for everything. I hope you're happy." Jasmine smiled softly, but she didn't respond. She had already closed that chapter. Instead, she looked across the table at someone new. Daniel, a man she had met at a business conference. He was charming, kind, and most importantly, confident enough in himself to respect a strong woman. He caught her looking and grinned. "What's on your mind?" Jasmine set her phone aside, picking up her wine glass. "Just thinking about how far I've come." He raised his own glass to new beginnings. She clinked her glass against his, to knowing your worth as she took a sip. She knew one thing for sure: she would never settle for less than she deserved again, and that in the end was the sweetest victory of all.